Most people never believe that one small act of kindness can change the entire course of their lives. But for Mark Lewis, a quiet, exhausted single dad janitor working night shifts, everything changed the evening a terrified Navy woman and her little girl rushed into the school gym seeking shelter. He thought he'd simply helped a stranger. He never imagined she would become the reason secrets surfaced, debts were paid, hearts were mended, and a knock on his door would rewrite his destiny forever. The rain hit the school windows like handfuls of gravel tossed by an angry sky. Mark Lewis, mop in hand and back aching as always, worked his way across the empty hallway of Lincoln High. It was almost midnight, his usual shift, and the sound of the old floor scrubber echoed like a heartbeat through the vacant building. Mark wasn't a man people noticed. Tall, quiet, unshaven, tired. The kind of man who had learned to fade into the background ever since his wife, Emily, died 6 years earlier. Since then, it was just him and his son Tyler, figuring out life paycheck by paycheck. He paused, rubbing his shoulder, as he glanced at the old photo tucked inside his wallet. Emily smiling, holding newborn Tyler. "Still trying, Em," he whispered. "Still doing my best." Just as he set the mop aside, the heavy doors of the gym slammed open. Mark jolted. Standing in the doorway was a woman soaked to the bone, trembling, clutching the hand of a little girl no older than 6. "Please," the woman gasped. "Is the building open? We just need somewhere safe for a moment." Mark hurried over. Yeah, come inside." The woman stumbled forward, her daughter pressed against her leg. "I'm Lieutenant Sarah Hayes," she said breathlessly. "Navy. My car broke down, and someone was following us." That last sentence tightened something in Mark's chest. The little girl peeked up, eyes wide. "Mommy said we had to run?" Mark closed the door quickly and locked it. "You're safe now. Whoever was following you can't get in here." Sarah's shoulders slumped in relief. Mark grabbed 2 towels from the supply closet and handed them over. "Thank you," she said, voice soft with exhaustion. "Most people wouldn't help a stranger this late at night." Mark shrugged. "I'm not most people." A faint smile flickered across her face. As the storm raged outside, Mark led them to the staff lounge, turning on the small heater. Sarah warmed her daughter's hands while Mark brought hot chocolate from the cafeteria machine. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked the girl. "Lila," she replied shyly. "Well, Lila, you're safe here." The way Sarah looked at Mark, grateful, maybe even trusting, felt like something he hadn't felt in years. But safety was temporary. Because minutes later, a heavy fist pounded on the gym's back entrance. Wham! 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 Mark stiffened. Sarah pulled Lila close, eyes wide with terror. And for the first time in years, Mark felt something he thought he'd lost. The urge to protect someone with everything he had. The pounding echoed through the silent halls. Mark stepped forward, heart pounding. "Stay behind me," he whispered. Sarah nodded, clutching Lila tight. Mark moved down the corridor, every step heavy but determined. When he reached the exit door, he peered through the narrow glass panel. A figure stood outside, hood up, face hidden. Whoever it was, wasn't leaving. Mark swallowed. He didn't know what danger Sarah had brought with her, but he knew one thing. He wasn't about to open that door. The figure pounded again. "Open up! I know she's in there!" a muffled voice yelled. Sarah, who had hurried behind Mark, froze. "That's him," she whispered. "My ex, Lila's biological father. He's been tracking us since I reported him for misconduct on base. He's dangerous." Mark exhaled slowly. "Then he's not getting in." He guided Sarah and Lila back to the staff lounge. "Call the police," he said. "I can't," Sarah whispered. "He has friends. He could twist everything. That's why I ran tonight, for my daughter." Mark looked at her, really looked. A mother protecting her child. A woman carrying burdens heavier than her uniform. "Then I'll call," Mark said, already reaching for his phone. "No." She grabbed his wrist gently. If this gets messy, he could ruin your life too. Mark shook his head. My life isn't exactly easy. But Tyler, my son, always asks me why bad things happen to good people. He met her eyes. I want to show him that good people help anyway. Sarah's eyes softened, filling with something fragile and raw. Thank you, she whispered. Minutes felt like hours as the storm finally quieted. Lila fell asleep on Sarah's lap, exhausted. Mark stayed near the door, alert, listening for anything. But the knock stopped. Whoever was out there had vanished into the night. By dawn, the building felt strangely peaceful. Sarah stood slowly. I should go. I don't want to bring more trouble to you. You didn't, Mark said. You brought purpose. She paused, eyes soft. Can I repay you somehow? Just stay safe, he replied. That's enough. But before she could leave, a new knock echoed through the building. A steady, official triple knock that made every hair on Mark's arms rise. When he opened the door, 2 Navy military police officers stood there. Mr. Lewis? One asked. We're looking for Lieutenant Sarah Hayes, and we have orders regarding last night. Sarah tensed. Mark stepped protectively in front of her. Orders? He asked. Yes, the officer said, straightening. She wasn't running from trouble. She was running from a man we've been trying to arrest for months. The Navy owes you, both of you, an apology. Relief flooded Sarah's face so violently she nearly collapsed. Mark caught her gently by the shoulders. The MP continued. And Mr. Lewis, your actions last night are being reported. The Navy wishes to thank you formally. Mark blinked. I just did what anyone would. No, Sarah whispered. Not anyone. And as the morning sun streamed through the lobby windows, that knock, the knock that once signaled fear, had become the knock that changed everything. It was the moment their lives quietly, undeniably intertwined. The beginning of something none of them could yet see. Friendship, healing, hope, and the possibility of a new family built from broken pieces finally finding each other.